are these people?
What the hell's going on? There we go. Sorry. All right, welcome to another episode of Angel in the Afternoon. Today is May 1st, 2026, I believe. It is 2026. Jesus, I'm thinking 2025.
Which means trailer 3 for TSA 6 is just around the corner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know Rockstar has mummed the word, but hopefully they will have a trailer because then at that point, I know it's coming out. And at that point, we got to do a GTA episode.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that trailer because if that trailer pops out, then you know it's coming out this year. So my name is Andrew Rivera. This is Alex Knight. No Witchy because something popped up the last second, so she can't make it. But it's episode 160. Yay. Anyways, got a lot to talk about this week. The Department of Justice is resuming executions, and this time they're gonna do executions by firing squad, which is very 19th century of you, but yeah. Whatever. We also got to talk about Apple and their continued efforts to spy on all of us. And let's see.
We should also talk about Sony, including DRM and their PS5 as well.
That's terrible.
And also today, you saw that during the ID verification thing I showed you earlier. So
yeah. So Sony is completely just sabotaging their own system. First is the DRM. It's like every 30 days now you have to be on the internet or else.
Well, no, they've actually updated it. It's like they said something recently like you have to do it by 14 days or whatever it is, and you just do it once and then you're good to go or something. But it's still DRM.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's still DRM.
The only thing I saw was the initial things every 30 days, but
they did clarify a couple days ago. So
I missed that, but okay. To be fair, it's only 14 days. Within 14 days, and it's once, but still, I mean, they're basically DRMing us, and taking away because we own the games. You pay $60, like you actually don't own the game. You have to have an internet connection, and you have to update every 30 days or every 14, whatever it is now.
You know, all that time when I was saying that I would get GTA 6 for the PS5, I'm not so sure now. I might get it for the Series X, the Xbox Series X.
That's what I'm.
And I mentioned to you recently that that Asha Sharma, the new CEO for Xbox, where we thought she was going to do horrible, but she's actually been doing a pretty good job so far.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean, I have with everything that she's been saying, she's saying all the right things. So it seems like, okay. So I've always preferred the PlayStation because the controller to me is it's better. But the PS5 controllers are kind of like not that I don't really like them. And on top of that, all this other bullshit, like increasing the prices of the PlayStation to the point where it's cheaper just to buy a gaming PC than it is to buy a PS5.
And they even raised the price today for the refurbished console from $450 to $550. Which
I saw you showed me that too. I think so. I saw it on your feed. So it's like, really? I mean, look, I get their excuse is like, oh well, tariffs and the chips not being available because AI is buying them all up. But still, I mean, it's outrageous. These price increases, no one's going to want to buy these systems.
But this is what I was worried about when Sony realized they started to have no competition because all the fuck-ups that Xbox had been doing for like the last year. This is what I was worried about, and now we're seeing it. So,
yeah. Because there's no competition. Again, it's like as you said. Once it's very similar to what happened with wrestling. Once Vince McMahon owned wrestling, it quickly went downhill because he didn't have to compete with anybody. So, and that's true now with Sony. You know, Xbox is pretty much dead, but Sony's quickly shooting themselves in the foot too. So it's like, if a GTA 6 was coming out for the PC, I'm like, I have a Steam account, just get in the PC. But unfortunately, that's not happening. So at least not immediately. You know, it's probably a year or two for you to see it on PC. So it's like, I got to get a system. I'm not looking forward to that. But
no, unfortunately, Steph will not be here today. Something.
Last second situation, but. You know, so she
wanted to be. She might
here.
show up in the chats later on, but
yeah. Yeah, I would see probably be in the chat later, but for now, yeah, where it's just me and Alex. But yeah, so let's get started with uh
Oh, by the way, how about them Knicks?
uh that was incredible. I mean,
Yes.
they won like 50 plus points and they
Yeah.
went to the semis. Okay, great. Call me when they get to the finals because I'm not
Yeah.
because they fired Thibodeau because he didn't get past the Eastern Conference Finals, but
Hmm.
can't get past Eastern Conference Finals
But
this
at
year,
least
and then
they don't. At least they don't have to deal with the Pacers this time.
right, well, it's either be the Sixers or the Celtics, but
Yeah.
let's see here. So where are we? I was gonna cover that story about the JP Morgan executive who allegedly sexually harassed their employee, but that story that came out recently is total bullshit, so I'm not even
Mhm.
bothered with that.
I
Pretty
thought
sure you
at
saw that.
first, I thought at first that female. I thought people were saying that was the same one as that sports reporter. I don't remember his name. You know, the relationship with her and Mike April.
Oh right. No, it's somebody
It's
different. Yeah,
somebody,
I
but
know
it
you're talking about.
does look just
Yeah,
like her.
I was gonna cover that. I was reading the articles yesterday, and I'm like, this guy refused to participate in the the HR investigation that they were doing. It's okay, he's lying. I could tell right there he was lying, but then now it came out that he was totally lying. I mean, the guy, it turns out that he did work for J.P. Morgan Chase, but he left rather quickly, and yeah, that he worked for that woman, but ultimately they had no relationship and there's no evidence of it. So it turns out that the guy left and now he filed this lawsuit in order to get a settlement from JP Morgan Chase. But they didn't bite. So now he's pretty much left with nothing. He has a new job and we're all gonna move on now. I was gonna cover that story until I realized I saw the articles like, nah, this is total bullshit. But I was still gonna cover it anyways, but now it's confirmed that it's total bullshit. So no, I'm not covering it. Let's see. So let's start with huh. Oh, let's start with Apple. Yeah, because that's the first one I have here. So let's just do that real quick. Uh, disappearing acts. Hold on. Oops, no, no. Mm, that's fine, I guess. Whatever. Uh, Apple adds age verification to digital ID and wallet, moves beyond TSA airport check-ins or checkpoints. Apple's age verification rolls out without fanfare for a reason. So I don't have this on my phone yet. Hold on, let me see. Where's my wallet? I don't know. Anyways, Apple just turned the next phase of digital ID rollouts. Where's my wallet? Oh, here it is. Um, Framing the company support documentation is almost casual. The passport derived credential and Apple Wallet can now be used to confirm a user over 18 when creating an Apple account, updating iOS, adjusting safety features, downloading apps rated 18 plus. No press release accompany the change. Of course not. Apple don't want that. I don't have that here. At least on my phone. So and I have the most recent updates. So I guess it's certain states. I'm in New Jersey, so we haven't done any age verification yet. Thank God. The understated rollout undersells what's actually happening. Apple, like Google, Meta, Discord, and every other consumer-facing platform, is significant change is racing to operationalize digital identity infrastructure to meet a wave of age verification mandates landing across the U.S., UK, EU, and Australia. The companies did not invent this demand; lawmakers did. But the response is arriving faster than the laws themselves, and the architecture being built right now will outlast any specific statute that prompted it. The UK's Online Safety Act is already forcing platforms to verify age with documented credentials. That UK Online Safety Act is the same law that the UK police are using to arrest people for memes. Quite literally, by the way. I'm not making that up. I think we covered on the show. I mean, they arrested people in Germany and the UK. They're arresting people for memes. It was like, what the hell's going on? The memes? You know how many
Yeah,
memes I
In
posted?
Florida, someone was arrested for making a joke about Israel and Netanyahu or something like a week or
Yeah,
two ago.
I saw that. And apparently they got him under some anti-Semitic law or something in Florida. I'm like, really? Is that what we're gonna do now? I mean, what about the anti Puerto Rican law? Like, you can't make fun of Puerto Ricans. I mean, no, it's just Israelis or Jews or whatever.
As
Discord
a
attempt-
Jew myself, I just fucking hate how these non-Jewish people have just pander to the Jewish community or Israel. You know, it's just
yeah,
it's so fucking ridiculous.
it's bullshit. They're pandering to Zionists in particular, but they're conflating Zionist Jews with the Jewish community in general, and who most in the U.S. are not Zionists. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're definitely pandering to the Jewish community, especially Zionists. That's for sure. Discord attempted its own age verification rollout earlier this year, paused after backlash, and has continued reworking the system. State laws in the U.S. are moving in the same direction, with Texas, Louisiana, Utah, and growing state of others passing mandates that target app stores, social platforms, and adult content websites. Federal proposals keep recycling similar models. The European Union is already preparing its own age verification framework. Australia has already legislated social media ban for those under 16. Here's the thing with social media bans for teenagers. I understand it in theory. You know, I don't think I would want my children on social media if they're young, but like, I don't need the government to parent my child for me. I can handle that. And I'm sure Witchy would agree with me. You know, I don't have children, but I'm just saying if she were here, I'm sure she would agree with me. So I know her well enough to know that she wouldn't want the government parenting her child for her. So it's like, yeah, in theory, I get why you want to ban social media for children, for teenagers, but the government should not be parenting our kids. We can handle that. The government should stay out of our homes. The platform doing is verifying has a choice. They can build the credential infrastructure themselves, license it from third-party vendors who upload your passport to their servers, or hand the job to the operating system that already lives in your phone. Apple's digital ID, Google's parallel work on digital credentials, and Android are bids to be the third option. There are also bids to be a default option because once an OS-level identity wallet exists, regulators tend to treat it as a natural place to plug it in. Digital ID went live last November as an Apple workaround for slow march to state-issue mobile driver licenses. 12 states and Puerto Rico currently support adding real driver's license to their wallets, which left most U.S. iPhone users without a digital credential, so Apple built one. So again, I live in New Jersey, so we don't have that option to put our ID or license in our wallet. Again, I wouldn't do that anyways, even if it was an option, but yeah, just wanted to put that out there. At launch, acceptance was limited to TSA checkpoints in over 250 U.S. airports, which is the initial thing. You know, oh, you can check in easier if you put your passport in the wallet. You know, you do this, you scan it, and you move on. Convenient, which it is, but problem is they're going to expand that, which Apple, of course, have done. Apple was explicit at the time this was a starting point. Jennifer Bailey, Apple's vice president of Apple Pay and Apple Wallet, said with the launch of digital ID, we're excited to expand our ways our users can store and present their identity, all with the security and privacy built to Apple's iPhone and Apple Watch. Oh, by the way, your privacy, you can say this.
Bye-bye.
Your privacy, it's gone. Let's see. All the security and privacy built to the iPhone and Apple Watch. The same announcement promised in the future users will be able to present digital ID and additional select businesses and organizations for identity and age verification in person, in apps, and online. The first organization to accept digital ID for age verification is now Apple itself, of course. Let's see. The mechanics appear in the support page title if you're asked to confirm that you're an adult. Apple lists the acceptable proofs and rules out the obvious one. Passport, digital debit cards, and gift cards do not work. The footnote states a digital ID and Apple Wallet created using U.S. passport can be used to confirm that you're an adult. So, compliance is immediate motivation. Big tech companies have spent years watching governments threaten and partially deliver age verification regimes. Excuse me. The threat is now real enough and varied enough across jurisdictions that building one's own verification rails become cheaper than complying with dozen incompatible regional schemes to external vendors, blah, blah, blah. Google has been moving along the same track. Android's identity credential API and Google Wallet pivot toward digital IDs are now being positioned for the same legal moments. Apple is meeting now. Meta has been pushing its own age estimation tools across Facebook and Instagram. Discord's verification flow pause and start draws on the same vendor ecosystem. Companies do not always coordinate, but the pattern is unmistakable. The infrastructure for online identity verification being constructed in parallel by every major platform on a timeline driven by laws coming down the pipeline. So they know these laws are coming. So you know what? We're just going to build up the infrastructure now. So as soon as the law passes, then we can just immediately implement it. So ultimately, corporations are just going to do what the government wants because it's cheaper than to try to fight them. Because to try to fight them, take them to court, it's a lot more expensive. So it's like, you know what? We're just going to implement digital ID because we want to do it anyways. Now the excuse is it's not on us; it's on the government. They want us to do it. There also question what happens when age verification stops being optional. Apple's support page already listed the actions that can trigger an adult confirmation prompt, including software updates and changes to safety settings. The legal pressure driving these checks is expanding rather than retreating. As more states and countries pass age verification laws, digital ID and wallet stops being a convenience and becomes a path of least resistance. For now, the practical impact on the U.S. users is limited, and most age verification prompts and Apple services have appeared overseas, where the Online Safety Act and regulated laws are doing the prompting. The number of U.S. user digital IDs and system also been asked to prove their ages to Apple is modest. The system does in place. So as Witchy says, and she's not here to say this, so I'm going to say it for her, whatever they do in other countries, they're going to do over here. So they're testing it in Europe and in Asia and stuff. So if they give in,
we will own nothing, be happy, and eat sea bugs.
There you go. That's the other thing she says, which is true. So, yeah. So again, I'm quoting her too. So let me see. Let's see. Kurt Boss is here. Thank you for joining us. Lori, Kieran, thank you for joining us too. If you guys haven't given me a like, that helps a lot with this algorithm that is clearly shadow banned me because my channel, I'm lucky to get 3 views a stream. So they're definitely shadow banning my ass. Let's see here. What else? What else we got here this week? Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Trump says probably when asked if he might pull U.S. troops out of Italy or Spain. By the way, we've had U.S. troops in Europe for nearly 80 years at this point. So it's like
he's not gonna do that.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying, even him just saying I might pull out troops out of U.S. out of Spain or Italy. Well, it's new. No U.S. president has said that since World War II. Him saying it is like a big deal. But I know he won't do it. You're right. But I'm just making the point that him just saying that is like. And everybody in Washington's freaking out about Trump even saying that. So they want to.
By the way, today, a few weeks ago when Trump posted that photo of him and Jesus Christ or whatever that was,
he
just did it again with this time the Statue of Liberty, if it giving it birth or something like that. You saw that pic in both the groups, right?
Yeah. Of course I did. I mean, it's like, come on, dude. So,
some of you may die, but
I finally got the audio, I think yesterday. Yeah. So it's like, let's see. President Donald Trump on Thursday said probably when he would ask whether he would consider pulling U.S. troops out of Italy or Spain, a day after announcing Washington was looking to reduce the number of military personnel in Germany. That's another thing. Trump is trying to allegedly trying to lower military personnel in Germany. Trump has harshly criticized NATO allies for not sending their navies, to help open the Strait of Hormuz, which was closed to global shipping following the start of the U.S.-Israeli air war against Iran on February 28th. He's also said he is considering withdrawing the United States from the alliance. He's not withdrawing the United States from NATO. He's not doing that. So, because if he did that, he wouldn't last 6 months. He'd be, So, an internal Pentagon email reported by Reuters last week outlined options for the United States to punish NATO allies it believes failed to support U.S. operations in the war in Iran, including suspending Spain from the alliance. Trump, who has discussed the possibility of removing some U.S. troops in Europe earlier this month, on Wednesday said his administration looking at cuts to U.S. forces in Germany. An decision will be made soon. Asked on Thursday if he would also consider pulling U.S. troops out of Italy and Spain, the two countries that have been critical of the Iran war, Trump said, "Probably. Look, why shouldn't I? Italy has not been any help to us, and Spain has been horrible, absolutely horrible." Trump last month threatened to impose a full U.S. trade embargo on Spain after a European ally refused to let U.S. military use its bases for, missions linked to strikes in Iran. That spaghetti sauce is too much sometimes. The U.S. just had over 68,000 active duty military personnel assigned permanently to its overseas bases in Europe as of December 2025. The data from the U.S. Defense Manpower Data Center shows more than half, about 36,400, are based in Germany. So yeah, Donald Trump is considering pulling troops out of Europe, or certain amount of troops out of Europe, and leaving NATO, which is all total bullshit. He's not going to do that. He's just posturing, mad at Europe because Europe won't support his war in Iran. So that's why he's saying, I might pull troops out of Europe, and if the Russians invade, that's your problem, not mine. The Russians aren't going to invade, but that Europe thinks the Russians are going to invade, but they're scared. Let's see. Let's see who we got. Kurt says, Lori, we are forced to despise our humanity and accept authority blindly. That's real. Kurt also says, Kieran, we're the lab rats, to be honest. How far can they manipulate the Western world using the same tactics as COVID? Don't question authority. 100% true. And even though YouTube changed the term service, but whenever COVID comes up, you should get your next booster shots. Even though they technically changed in terms of service, but still, I don't really trust them. So it's like, yeah, just get your boosters. I got mine last week. So let's see. What else we got?
I think I've gotten a million of them by now.
Pentagon asked Congress to codify the Department of War. Estimates $52 million cost. So, as we all know, the administration decided to change the Defense Department back to the Department of War. So they did it unofficially, but now Pentagon wants Congress to do it officially. So to pass a law in order to officially rename it back to the Department of War.
And don't forget the ballroom.
Yeah, that's another thing. So let's see. This is from the Military Times. The Pentagon is formally seeking congressional authorization to codify the Department of War moniker, estimating it will cost taxpayers approximately $52.5 million. By the way, that's changing all the signs in the Pentagon, and that's changing the website, because the website, I think, still says Department of Defense. So Department, hold on, let me see what it says. Defense. I'm curious to see what it says. That's USA.gov. Here we go. Oh no, actually it says Department of War. Okay. So they did change the website. This is U.S. Department of War. So I thought they didn't, but they did. So I think they're trying to change all the signs in the Pentagon to say Department of War. So they need that $52 million to make that happen. Which is ridiculous. Just change the signs. Like, you don't need $52 million. That I guarantee you most of that tax money is going towards companies that are friendly with Pete Hegseth. So, and it's,
well, his hearing didn't help. What was it, 2 days ago or yesterday?
The figure is substantially lower than the Congressional Budget Office projection in January, which estimated the rebate cost as much as $125 million if it was adopted broadly and rapidly. In legislative proposal released this month, the department argued that the revised designation serves as a fundamental reminder of the importance and reverence of our core mission, to fight and win wars. It serves a strategic objective which to measure and prioritize all activities. Okay,
where stop the wars? Or end the wars?
That's the last time the U.S. won a war. Vietnam was definitely a loss. Reagan had to pull out a grenade after like 3 weeks. It was a disaster. Bush Sr. went into Iraq. We definitely didn't win that war. Clinton bombed Kosovo. I mean, that didn't work either. Bush went into Iraq and Afghanistan. That was horrible. Obama bombed the shit out of Syria and stayed in Iraq and Afghanistan. That didn't work either. Trump continued all the bombing in his first term. Biden definitely didn't change anything. He
and
withdrew from
funded the genocide
Afghanistan.
in Gaza.
Yeah, he withdrew from Afghanistan, but he was still bombing there even after he left office. And now Trump is back again. He started a new war in Iran. So I don't know when the last time we won a war. World War II, maybe? That was 80 years ago at this point. I mean, we've not won wars in nearly 100 years now. We start wars. We start wars, of course. We don't win them. It's not about winning them. It's about staying permanently so the defense contractors get all our taxpayer dollars. President Donald Trump signed an executive order in September establishing the Department of War as a secondary title for the Department of Defense, a move that has remained largely ceremonial in effect. Only Congress has the authority to permanently rename the executive department. Names has not yet done so. Trump contends that reviving the nation's original defense nomenclature, used until 2 years after World War II, is much more appropriate reflection in the world today. At least they're being honest because they want to fight wars. That's all they want to do. The name Department of War conveys a stronger message of readiness and resolve compared to the Department of Defense, which emphasizes only defensive capabilities, the executive order says. Restoring the name the Department of War will sharpen the focus of the department on our national interests and signal to adversaries America's readiness to wage war and secure its interests. So there you go. That's the executive orders.
And remember when Trump was saying we can't use all the money for healthcare and all that stuff. We got to use it for war.
Yeah, shit. That's true. Lori said he only left Afghanistan and set up in Ukraine. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is a thing that went on for decades. It wasn't just Biden, but U.S. slowly but surely started inching closer to Russia. They until to the point where every country on Russia's border is member of NATO except for Ukraine. And Biden kept saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna admit Ukraine to NATO," which was Putin's red line. So what happened? Of course, he was gonna invade. What, you think he was bluffing? It's like Biden thought he was bluffing. Like, I don't know what. I mean, they were hoping for an invasion because obviously, as Lori said, the U.S. wanted that war in order to wanted another proxy war with Russia. So Vietnam was a proxy war with Russia. So we love our proxy war with the Russians. And Taiwan is not officially at war, but that's going to be a proxy war between China and the U.S. again. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but it seems like that's where Trump is posturing towards, another proxy war.
It's just still funny that and I know you've been posting about it too, how Kyle Kowinski has just been losing his mind about Trump lately with all these posts. Like, can't get Trump out of his
freaking
head.
out.
Yeah.
Like, he's been freaking out.
He also said that Kamala would be much, much better than Trump and to vote Democrat. I mean, like, Jesus Christ. He's just fucking lost it.
Yeah, he has to be on drugs. I mean, if I watch a clip of him and he's doing a lot of this shit when he's commentating. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's cocaine or Adderall or a combination of the two, but he's been twitching a lot during his videos.
Yeah.
The estimated costs allocate $44.6 million for defense agencies and department field activities, $3.5 million for military departments, and $3 million for Defense Secretary's P. Hegseth office and Washington headquarters services. What? If Pete Hegseth got $3 million for his office? Like, come on. Washington headquarters, $400,000 for the Joint Chiefs, Combatant Commands, and National Guard Bureau. I mean, that $3 million, it's outrageous for an office. Just get a nice wooden desk, a nice chair, and maybe, nice couch. That runs you a couple $100, not $3 million. That's outrageous.
I just want to mention something really quickly. So the Orioles just tied the game against the Yankees in the top of the second with a home run. You want to guess who hit the home run? I'll just say it. Who else? Pete Alonso.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in the Orioles. That's why if I remember, I probably would have guessed him. But let's see. Hegseth and General Dan Kane, the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, will testify for the House Armed Services Committee Wednesday and the Senate Armed Services Committee Thursday on the Pentagon's fiscal 2027 budget proposal. The Trump administration requesting $1.5 trillion in defense spending, the largest expenditure in modern U.S. history.
$1 trillion.
Trillion is like Jesus. The rebranding would have no significant impact on the administration's 2027 budget. as the relevant changes were already implemented in 2026, the Pentagon said. So, yeah, they're going to officially rebrand to the Department of War. And if they're going to do it, they're going to probably have to do it now because the midterms are likely to go to Democrats' control.
Oh yeah, they're going to get crushed in the midterms.
Yeah, so if they're going to do this, they got to do this now. So because I don't care what they call it because the Department of Defense starts wars anyway. So they want to call it the Department of War. I don't really care, but if they're going to do it, they got to do it now because they're going to get crushed in that.
So that means there would, I don't remember, would there be a new speaker for the
well, yeah, if the Democrats take control, it'd be Hakeem Jeffries. He'd be the speaker.
No,
because he's the minority. Yeah, I know he's the minority leader.
Oh my god, this is gonna be awful.
Yeah, the wannabe Obama is gonna be the Speaker of the House. Who Nancy Pelosi,
who recently just said that they're not working on impeachment with Trump. I mean,
no, they. No, here's the thing with Hakeem Jeffries. He's going to get pressure from the Democrats and the rest of his caucus to do impeachment hearings. But he is right. I mean, it'd be a total waste of time because the Republicans are not.
Yeah, but my point is that still siding with Trump despite hating Trump.
Right. Yeah, it is siding with Trump, even though I agree with his point that is pointless because Republicans in the Senate the Senate's never going to convict him because they need like 67 or 68 senators to convict them. So 3/4 of the Senate, and that's not going to happen. So, because Democrats are not going to have 67 senators. So, they're at most, they'll have 51 or 52, depending whether Graham Elwood and the other dude, Abdel Al-Sayed win,
Right.
So, or he hasn't won his primary
you didn't
yet.
Graham Elwood, did you?
No, the Graham Plattner, that guy.
Yeah, you said Graham Elwood. I was like,
well, that's what I meant, Graham Plattner. I said Elwood? Okay.
Yeah, you did say
sorry.
Elwood.
Sorry.
That's why I said Ron Placone because I thought you meant him and then how they still
No, yeah. I meant the guy with the Nazi tattoo from Maine.
Yeah.
I mean Latner. We'll get to him in a moment. But
remember, keep voting Democrats. These progressives don't learn. They'll continue to not learn.
No, that's the thing. With Plattner, I mean, this fucking guy had that Nazi tattoo like 10 minutes ago. When it's politically convenient to finally get it covered up. And these same progressives who hate Nazis and who hate Trump because he's allegedly a Nazi, they'll gladly support this guy who is a real-life Nazi. I mean, because he kept that tattoo for over 10 years.
And they'll support Michael Blake over Jose Vega, which is just insulting.
Well, yeah. Because by definition, he's better because he's an actual Democrat. Unlike Vega, who's kind of trying to get into the race. Let's see. The oil supply shock was scarred the world for years. This is from oilprices.com. Let's see. Let's go on in the chat. Okay. If you guys haven't, make sure you give me that like and subscribe. We're gonna be doing this every Friday. Hopefully, Witchy come back next week. The Middle East oil production and global economy will take months, even years, to recover from the worst crude supply shock in history. 2 months after the U.S. and Israel bombed Iran on February 28. Jesus, it's been 3 months already? Like, time flies. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed for most tanker traffic, forcing more than 10 million barrels a day of crude output shut-ins across the Middle Eastern oil producers. The disrupted energy flows triggered a global race for alternative supplies, sent energy prices soaring with the prospect of showing a slowing global economic growth and leading into a global recession of the world's most critical oil choke point stays mostly inaccessible for another 3 months. The 2-month-long closure of the strait is longer than analysts expected at the start of the war. Most assumed back that the strait would open by April and producers could restart shut-in wells in May. It's not happening. The strait is shut down. No matter what Trump says, like, we're going to reopen the strait soon. We have a deal. We're going to reopen soon. Not happening.
I'm really confused when he says, Iran's been defeated, but they says, we got to still go deal with Iran. Like, what is it, Trump? What is it?
He's talking out both sides of his mouth. At one point, he says, we defeated Iran. They're going to reopen the strait soon. Another point, he's like, we got to go into Iran. We got to attack them more. Like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Gradual recovery. Even the straight open to free tanker traffic, oil supply of Middle East would take months to start flowing again and reach consumers in Asia. We're the first to feel the supply shock. The longer the choke point remains off limits to most tanker traffic, the worse the scars would be in the global supply and economic growth. You know who's filling that? Russia. Russia's filling up that what's what I'm looking for. That that supply market gap, because
Mhm.
they've been sending oil to Europe, they're going to send oil to Asia, and that's putting money back in their coffers to fight the war in Ukraine.
Mhm.
So Trump managed to help Russia, even though we all hate Russia because they went into Ukraine illegally.
Mhm.
So congratulations, Trump. You just helped Putin. I'm surprised Democrats haven't said he's a Putin puppet again. Um,
Also, Jose Caballero just hit a home run. So Anthony Volpe's chances to come back from the Yankees just keep getting harder and harder.
yeah, I don't see how you can start him over Caballero right now. I mean,
Yeah,
he's playing fantastic at
he just
shortstop.
needs to get. He just needs to stop getting caught stealing, or making
Yeah,
mistakes.
he led the American League in stolen bases last year, but this year he's been picked off way too many times.
Yeah,
Um, Even if the Strait of Hormuz, blah blah blah. I already read that.
yeah. Of course,
Okay,
they're
I
not going to
read
give Putin the Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, they're
no.
not.
Let's see. Some wells have been damaged permanently due to the hasty shut-ins in the early days of the war. Other would need new interventions and drillings to unclog. And output would not be immediately returned. Even the strait open unconditionally to all vessel traffic. Even if the traffic is unconstrained, it would take months for like Iraq. It would take countries It'll take countries like Iraq up to 9 months to reach prior production levels, due to both reservoir management and resource constraints. Fraser McKay blah, blah, said earlier this month when the U.S. and Iran announced a ceasefire, the halt to hostilities have not resulted in any diplomatic move so far, and the Strait of Hormuz remains closed by Iran and blockaded by the U.S. In an event of producers starting to restore the shut-in production, which appears a distant prospect now, the standoff at the strait continues. Operators hastened by regulators and government to restore production too rapidly, but risk doing long-term damage to fundamental assets. So we're fucked. Even if Iran reopens the strait with unconditionally, it's going to take months in order to get production back into lower prices again. So kind of fucked, ladies and gentlemen. Not much we can do about it. Even if they reopen the strait tomorrow, we're still fucked.
That's the
Uh, the,
Misty quote. We are so fucked.
yeah. hmm The world's top oil producers also said any recovery in Middle East oil production will be gradual. While some countries that executed orderly shut-ins will probably be able to resume production within days or weeks, other areas, particularly when the disruptions were more abrupt, may require more value ramp-up, including additional waiting times and maintenance. So let's see. Halliburton CEO Jeff Miller said that his company's
What,
earnings
he
fall the
retired from
longer
basketball?
the longer things are shut in, typically the more complex they are to bring back on. He also noted the situation in the Middle East will have meaningful and long-lasting implications for the global energy sector. In his monthly report in April, the IEA stated or said that the supply restorations in the Gulf depends on these key enablers: improved security and political stability, the resumption of Hormuz trade flows, the mobilization of skilled labor and contractors, normalization of supply chains, tanker insurance, and financing. Oh, by the way, tanker insurance is going to go way up because
Yeah.
even if the Strait of Hormuz reopens, guess what? The insurance companies are not going to trust this situation, so they're going to jack up rates massively. You know what that means? Higher gas prices because they got to get those. They got to get that money back somehow. These oil companies. Um, Most fields that were properly shut in could restart quickly, but those with low recovery rates and flow issues may face delays of 6 months or more. Blah blah blah. Among reopening the Hormuz and the renewed energy for trade flows, we estimate it would take around 2 months to reestablish steady exports, and that initial volumes will remain below pre-conflict levels. So I'm not gonna read the rest of that, but yeah, basically we're all fucked. Even if they reopen the strait tomorrow, we're still gonna get higher gas for quite a bit while, so quite a bit more. So, all right. So, oh, by the way, gas prices are gone up here. We're like at 4.50 a gallon over here.
And
Which,
all the Trump MAGA trolls, or whatever you call them, the pasters, or I don't know what they are. They're all accepting that. Like, yeah, high gas prices are good. Just like how Blue MAGA was celebrating them.
because if they don't like it or not, even if they like it or not, they are just like the partisan Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's whatever Trump does is good by
Yeah.
definition, and it happened when during Biden was president. Whatever Biden does is good by definition because
Mm-hmm.
he's better than Republicans by definition.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he started funding the genocide in Gaza, Trump continued that, of course, but he started it, and Kamala Harris would have continued if she was elected.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kid yourself. Don't act like. So I know some partisans over Democrats are like Kamala would have been a million times better. She would have never invaded Iran. Yes, she would have. Yes, she would have because it was the plan for 25 years,
Yeah.
and she's not going to deviate from that
But
plan.
remember,
Invading
Kyle
Iran.
Kowinski said that Democrats are a trillion times better than the Republicans.
CBC says when Miss Witchy shows up, let's hide away.
not a million, not a billion, a trillion times better. That's how far he went to say how much they were better than the Republicans.
It's insane. Gas prices in the U.S. has reached the highest level in 4 years. On April 28th, as U.S. and Iran negotiations remain in a stalemate due to Washington's insistence on maintaining a legal blockade during the ceasefire. A 6-cent jump has pushed gas prices to $4.18. By the way, New Jersey here is $4.50. So that's the average price around the country, but it's pretty expensive here. Why? We have a gas tax.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's also another reason why it's. And I know California is more expensive, but we have a gas tax here in New Jersey too. 6-cent increase has pushed it. Blah blah blah. We read that. Prior to this, the average gas price in the U.S. has fallen to $4.02 for 2 weeks following the start of the ceasefire. So New Jersey's in red here. California is like dark red. Holy shit! I mean, there's like $5 or $6 a
Or
gallon.
remember, as Bubba Dudley said once, "Can we please get out of stinky New Jersey?"
Yeah, actually, I think I might have been there in that event when you said that. I don't remember where
Yeah.
it was in New Jersey, but I might have been there because
Yeah.
I remember being in the crowd when he said that. But I
Yeah.
don't know where exactly, unless I imagined that. But I don't think I did. I know I was in the crowd that night.
Yeah.
The state of California has witnessed highest gas prices, with average now approaching $6 per gallon. Gas prices in the U.S. have reached levels not seen since April 2022, immediately following the start of Russia's war in Ukraine. Who was president then? Joe Biden.
Yep.
And Trump supporting Republicans were melting down to how gas prices were too high, and they were right. Now, with Trump's president, they reverse exactly. Oh, well, I'm willing to pay higher gas prices in order to help President Trump with his war in Iran because it's a righteous and holy war. I call it a holy war. Nobody really does, but I call it a holy war because we have Trump who's pretending to be Christian. Netanyahu's a Jew, so he's the Jewish
Remember,
religion basically.
Iran is months and years away from having a nuclear bomb. 30 years later, they're months away from having a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, this is total bullshit. And also, Netanyahu was the one who pushed us to invade Iraq because why? Iraq had weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah,
which is bullshit because
the
it
evidence
turned out
right here.
Yeah.
This is the evidence.
It is bullshit, guys, because it turned out that Saddam Hussein destroyed his stockpile right after the Gulf War, so he hasn't had it for 20 years or 15 years by that point. But yeah, I mean, Bush ended up bombing Iraq.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, I remember when he said that the pandemic was over as well. Oh my god, that was so bad.
Yeah, the pandemic's over. The state of California, okay, gas prices in the U.S. has reached levels of blah, blah, I read that already. The latest surge coincided with the UAE announcing its withdrawal from OPEC and the wider OPEC Plus alliance effective May 1st.
Now, that's a good thing what the UAE did, right? Am I correct on that?
Well, yeah, because OPEC is limiting how much barrels of gas that or oil that they produce. That's increasing prices too because they're creating a scarcity in the market when they shouldn't be. Yeah. So the UAE withdrawing means they can increase the oil supply. So I'm not sure if they're going to do that, but I'm just saying that's an option now that can happen because they left OPEC. So global energy prices hit a 3-week high on Tuesday with Brent crude benchmark rising 4% past $105 per barrel. Brent crude remains 40% higher than what it was before the start of legal U.S.-Israeli war in Iran. Ceasefire negotiations between Iran and the U.S. has stalled. Although the truce was extended, Trump continues to enforce a legal blockade on the Iranian ports and has seized several vessels linked to Iran, prompting Tehran to respond similarly. By the way, this I just said it. Blockade is definitely to try to starve out the Iranians. And hopefully, they give in and come to a deal with Washington. Benefiting Washington, which means
It's 5-1 Yankees right now.
nice. Good.
And Ben Rice once again hit a home run.
I said it to you on Twitter. I mean, he's quickly becoming a superstar. I mean, he's tied with Judge and leading in home runs, and if he keeps that up, he's gonna have 50 home run season. Ceasefire negotiation. Okay, the Islamic Republic has continued to insist on clauses of its 10-point plan, which Washington initially accepted.
Oh my God, the Islamic Republic is so bad. Oh no.
Yeah, before backtracking and imposing a blockade. So initially, Trump was like, "Oh, that's we're gonna agree to the deal. We have a workable basis." And then I'm sure the general's got in his ears like, "We can't give him to the Islamic Republic,
It's fake
Mr.
news.
President.
It's fake news. Everyone,
it's fake news. It's fake news. There's no deal. We're gonna do a blockade." The terms include reparations, Iranian sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, and a full ceasefire in Lebanon, which the Israelis never agreed to because they want to take the southern part of Lebanon as part of the Greater Israel Project. The U.S. military buildup across West Asia remains at an all-time high. The Russian Security Council recently warned that Washington could be using diplomacy as a cover to launch ground operations. Oh, you don't say. That's what they did right before the Iran war. They were doing fake negotiations with the Iranians and then bombed them behind their back. So obviously they could be using these talks in order to invade them or bomb them behind their back. And they know that now, which is why they don't trust Washington, and they shouldn't. Earlier this month, Trump threatened that a lot of bombs would start going off if a deal is not reached. Israel also said that it's rating approval to renew strikes against the Islamic Republic. So another reason why we're fucked, because gas prices, because of the Iranian war, and the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. So there's no chance. Like, we're going to see high gas prices at least for the rest of the year. Yeah. And that's going to affect the Republicans in the midterm because gas prices are way too high. So it's a disaster for Democrats. I mean, Republicans. Well, Democrats suck too, but
yeah,
I should have said Republicans are in power right now. So let's see here. What else do I have? Let's do this, and then I'm gonna get to Grand Platinum.
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah, that's why I wanted to cover this. Telegraph and Politico owner said journalists must support Israel or resign. So
yeah, I'll fucking resign. What are you gonna do about it, huh?
Yeah. So the owner of Telegraph and Politico has said journalists must back Israel or resign, prompting accusations of newsroom independence under.
And why must we back Israel? Why? Why should we?
Who? By the way, Matthias Dolfiner. He's not Jewish. I mean, he sounds like he's German. Tension inside Politico were laid out bare this week as Axel Springer CEO Matthias Dolfiner told staff that backing Israel forms a core value of the working of the outlet.
More like doofus, sir. Am I right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Axel Springer acquired the Political news site in 2021. Remarks came during a tense internal meeting on Monday, conveyed after Politico journalists sent a letter to incoming editor-in-chief Jonathan Greenberger, accusing the media mogul Dolfiner of using the publication to promote his political agenda.
Let's just call him doofus, sir. That sounds much better.
That sounds better. You don't say. That's what Jeff Bezos did when he bought the Washington Post. He wanted to promote his political agenda. Staff warned that his recent opinion pieces undermining the outlet's reputation as impartial news source. No, Politico was never a partial news source. It's a lie. They are pro-Washington and pro-establishment.
They have posted some good articles before, but yeah,
they have, but for the most part, they are pro-Washington establishment. They're really friendly to establishment Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah,
particularly after it secured approval earlier this month to acquire the Daily Telegraph. Journalists fear the ideological direction set at the top of editorial lines across its titles, skewing coverage of Israel, which faces a case at the International Criminal Court of Justice over Gaza genocide that has killed at least 72,599 people and left more than 172,411 wounded. By the way, that number
the name is Dolfiner. It looks like that's
Dolfiner?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dopfner.
Those
Because
numbers are a lot.
it's Dopfner.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
you're right. It's Doffner.
yeah.
Doffner made his position explicit. He insists that loyalty to Israel sits at the heart of the company's identity, presenting itself as part of a broader framework of 5 core
God.
values called the essentials. That also includes freedom, free markets, individual freedom, and freedom of speech. But that makes no sense. He's contradicting himself because he's demanding loyalty to Israel, but at the same time he
Yeah.
claims freedom of speech is an essential part of his company. Which one is it? Either his freedom of speech or his loyalty to Israel. It can be both.
You know, it's like what I said before. It's just so baffling how, you know, what Nazi Germany did to the Jews in the Holocaust back then, and now Israel has become the new Nazi Germany. It's just so crazy.
It's ironic. The Israelis are doing the same thing that the Nazis did to them. So doing the same thing to the Gazans or the Palestinians as the Nazis did to the Jews. KYE says, I miss Shonda always calling me E-grade gross. Rest in peace, Shonda. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, tough. I can't believe we lost her. This face, you're going to miss her. And then blah, blah, leads to decisions. Axel Springer and somebody who has fundamentally different beliefs is really a good fit. This backlash also draws on a pattern statement by Doffner, who has been who had been dubbed Germany's Rupert Murdoch. He's German. Okay, that's what I thought. His name sounded German. So he's another Rupert Murdoch.
Israel.
A leaked email published by Day Zate last year revealed Doffner's ending a summary of his political beliefs with the phrase "Zionism, Uber allies, Israel's my country." You're German, dude. You're not Jewish. Like, what the hell is like saying Zionism above all else? It's like, okay.
Let me guess. Has he gone to the wall?
I wouldn't be surprised if he has and done the whole, deal. That most politicians in the U.S. have to do. The phrase "Uber allies" is highly controversial in Germany, where it's formed the opening line of the national anthem during the Nazi period and came to symbolize the idea of Germany as superior to all the nations. October last year, Israeli President Isaac Herzog, the Israeli Presidential Medal of Honor to Doffner, I keep butchering his name, and casino mogul and pro-Israeli mega donor Miriam Adelson. And the
Miriam Adelson, who can barely speak English, by the way.
Yeah, and she just bought the Dallas Mavericks, by the way. So
yeah, we covered
Mark
that.
Cuban.
Like a year ago.
So I still can't believe that. Like, really? And Mark Cuban sold it to Miriam Adelson, who's a Trump supporter. It's like he was a big Democrat until very recently, I guess. He just sold.
And now they're not back in the playoffs, so.
No, they have to probably rebuild, especially when they traded Luka Doncic. But inside the newsroom, journalists challenged Doffner's editorial interventions more directly. He defended his writing and rejected calls for stricter evidentiary standards in opinion pieces. So Doffner wants to be able to make up whatever he wants in his opinion pieces. Nothing anybody can do about it. The thing that honestly irritated me the most, he said, responsivism is language on Iran, is that you said in the latest piece he refers to Iran as the aggressor and that systematically pursuing nuclear weapons.
No,
and you think that is
the responder, if that's the word to use.
Irresponsible to publish that without clarification.
What I meant is, when Israel attacks them or whatever, that's when they respond back. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I understand. So now we have this new owner of Politico basically forcing his views upon his staff, and his staff is trying to rebel against that. But quite frankly, I don't know what they can do. He's the owner. Either they accept it or they quit. Let's see how many of them actually quit, because Politico is a good cushy job, making 6 figures to shield establishment talking points for the most part.
I wonder if Steve Cohen and John Henry are next.
Yeah, look, here's the thing with you brought up sports, and it made me think Robert Kraft and what he's doing with Israel. Like, he literally built a spying apparatus underneath Gillette Stadium, and like, hey, spying in, protecting Israel from any criticism, and we're going to protect Israel no matter what. And like, you built a spying apparatus under your football stadium. Like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, he's so
And that makes
Soto's
it all the
Zionist.
much better that the Seahawks won.
Yeah, because Robert Kraft doesn't deserve another Super Bowl. He already has
Yeah.
6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6. So now there's the first direct flight from the U.S. to Venezuela in 7 years. So again, they're normalizing relationship with Venezuela, even though the socialists are allegedly still in charge. So Delcy Rodriguez is definitely a lot more friendlier to Trump than Nicolas
I just
Maduro
can't
ever was.
believe how she sold out to Venezuela. I still can't believe that.
Witchy does too, but I theorize that somebody in his government betrayed Nicolas Maduro, and it had to be her. Who else could it have been?
It's like she's Venezuela's Erica Kirk.
Yeah, she had to be her. She's the second most powerful person in the country, and and she would be the one to basically give up Maduro to Trump and the U.S. And she wasn't anywhere near Maduro that night. So what a coincidence that she. I understand, he was at his house, but still, I mean, she made herself scarce rather quickly. The first direct commercial flight between the United States and Venezuela arrived Thursday in the capital, South American country. 7 years after Homeland Security Department ordered indefinite suspension, citing security concerns. By the way, that was under Biden. Actually, no, 7 years ago. Yeah, it was under Biden.
Topher, you saying that it's Zuckerberg that's trying to buy the Seahawks? Is that who you're talking about?
Zuck, yeah, I think so. Zuckman. Yeah, it had Mark Zuckerberg's trying to buy the Seahawks. Interesting.
Oh boy.
Because I know the Seahawks owner is or either died recently. He's in his 80s, so I'm sure he would try to sell. His family's trying to sell the team, or he's trying to sell the team.
I thought the owner
know.
was, or maybe it's the manager, but I thought the owner was a female. Maybe it's the manager of the team or general manager.
Let me see. Seahawks. Oops. I misspelled it, but all right, it understands. Who's the fucking owner? It doesn't really say here. Here, let's try looking here. The owner is the Paul Allen Estate. So
that's what Topher. That's what he just put. So
it's the Paul Allen Estate. So the owner passed away, and now the estate owns it. So I'm sure they're trying to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
The state's trying to sell it, which I wouldn't be if Zuckerberg tries to buy the team. I wouldn't be surprised. The resumption of a nonstop commercial flight between the two countries comes months after the U.S. captured then President Nicolas Maduro in a stunning nighttime raid on his residence in Caracas. It also comes a month that the U.S. formally reopened its embassy in Caracas, which is another sign that they're normalizing relations with Venezuela. That they reopened.
I just also want to act. The reactions when people have been replying to Delcy Rodriguez, it's been hilarious. Like they put her as, she looks like a monkey or an ape or something like that. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, she deserves it. I mean,
yeah,
I have no evidence for this. I want to make it clear, but I think she's the one that betrayed Maduro to the.
Yeah, but with all her tweets, it looks very.
Yeah, likely. I mean, even a lot of people are thinking that she was behind that. I'm very excited to go see the family. Looking forward to see the country, says passenger Leonard Ochoa in Miami shortly before boarding. He said that he's ready to go and got his ticket as soon as they're available. Just to go see family on a direct flight from Miami to Caracas is priceless. You know what you could have done? You could have flown to any other country and flew from Venezuela directly from there. I know it's more expensive, but you still could have done it. The director of the U.S. National Energy Dominance Council, Gerard Eigen, was among the passengers on the inaugural flight. Eigen is scheduled to meet with Venezuelan officials and executives in the energy and mining sectors as part of Trump administration's efforts to facilitate the entry of U.S. company into the South American country. So here we go. They're beginning the process of, selling off Venezuela's public oil company and public everything in order to privatize everything. And I'm sure Delcy Rodriguez is going to give in, because if she doesn't, she'll be off just like Maduro was arrested. So at Miami International, American Airlines staff handed passengers small Venezuelan flags, balloons with its colors, yellow, blue, and red, adorned the gate door leading to the plane. They're so excited about this flight. They're so excited. Flight 8, American Airlines 3599, operated by Envoy Air, subsidiary American Airlines, departed Miami at 10:11 a.m., 5 minutes ahead of its scheduled time, according to Miami International Airport flight departure information. It arrived 3 hours later in the Venezuelan capital, returning to Florida later in the afternoon. The airline said that a second daily flight between Miami and Caracas will start May 21st. Late January, President Donald Trump said that he informed Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, that he would open up all commercial airspace over the country, allowing Americans to visit. American citizens will be shortly able to go to Venezuela and they'll be safe there, Trump said at the time. The flight marks the resumption of nonstop travel with the U.S. and Venezuela for the first time since diplomatic ties were severed in 2019. Oh, that's during Trump's first term, okay. But Joe Biden never reopened it. I wonder why that is. For the past 7 years, passengers relied on international airlines and indirect routes through neighboring Latin American countries. In January, when the airline announced resumption of flights, it said it would give customers the opportunity to reunite with families and pursue new business opportunities. So even American Airlines is like, oh yeah, I mean, you can, do business in Venezuela now because Maduro is finally gone, and the government's now going to give in to us. American Airlines was the last U.S. airline flying to Venezuela, suspended flights in 2019 to Miami and Caracas, as well as flights to the oil hub city Maracaibo. Delta and United Airlines pulled out in 2017 amid political crisis that forced millions to leave the country. Blah, blah, blah. Parents to connect with children, grandchildren, entire families with a home that shaped and raised them. Miami-Dade County Mayor Dianela Levine Cava said in a news conference before boarding started. Miami-Dade is home to the largest Venezuelan community in the United States. So there you go. They reopened the embassy and they're allowing flights now. So that tells me everything I need to know, that Delcy Rodriguez is giving in to exactly what the U.S. wants. Because if she wasn't, she would have been either arrested just like Maduro was. So, and then they would have installed what's her face, the other woman, the right wing leader. I forget her name.
Oh, who originally challenging Maduro?
Yeah, her.
Yeah, I forgot. So, I forgot her name too.
Yeah, so she hasn't been in the news for a while. So
yeah,
yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. is getting exactly what they wanted. So now all of a sudden we're getting flights from Miami to Venezuela again, which had been a while since that happened. So let's see. So now let's get to Graham Plattner and Abdul Al Sayed.
Yeah,
these two lefty candidates.
We're running as Democrats, by the way, so don't vote for them.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But I'm just saying, lefty candidates, lefty. I didn't know this, but Graham Plattner apparently his dad was an architect, and they were pretty wealthy. So very similar to John Fetterman, by the way. Pretending to be a working class guy while he went to Ivy League school, John Fetterman, and his parents were wealthy. So he put on the working class gimmick, just like Graham Plattner did, but he turns out to be a wealthy individual. Same thing with Graham Plattner, by the way.
It's just so funny how quickly John Fetterman turned into a Republican, pretty much.
Yeah, and John Fetterman might as well run as a Republican for re-election.
Yeah,
because at this point,
he even went to Trump's correspondent dinner.
He did. Yeah, I think the only Democrat that won. So it's absurd. Progressives were so tricked by Fetterman that he ended up being basically a Republican.
And they're still tricked today. They still haven't learned a fucking thing. The definition of insanity.
Now they're doing it again with Graham Plattner. Yeah, he's
and the other one you just mentioned,
Abdul Al Sayed, the Muslim guy.
I remember I saw Do Dissident's video like a few days ago or something, and it was at the event where Haley Stevens, I think that's her name, where she got booed in that event. And then when that guy came out, I can't pronounce his name, but he got cheered. But then he was saying this thing in his video, saying thank you for all the support and something. But he said, please don't boo the other candidates or something. It's just like, stop.
Boo. So let's see. I didn't save any of the videos. Hold on. So, and also Graham Plattner said a lot of fucked up shit in his life. So he had the Nazi tattoo for 10 years, and he knew it was a Nazi tattoo and kept it. So that tells me he was a fascist at some point.
He also got support from Elizabeth Warren recently. So That should tell you.
Oh my God, the Democrats are the party's being split by this because I've been seeing on X and Facebook all day about how there's black people who are very uncomfortable with Graham Elwood over the Nazi tattoo.
You said Elwood again.
Plattner, but they're so comfortable. They're really uncomfortable with Plattner, and they're telling these progressives, I'm not going to vote for Plattner because they're the ones that live in Maine at least. I'm not going to vote for Plattner. I'm going to either sit home or vote for Susan Collins. Oh, progressives are freaking out about that. They're freaking out about that, especially because they call Susan Collins a what was it a bitch for Trump or something like that. Some of them do. I mean, they're nuts, and so they're freaking out about that. And Jews are also like, no, I'm not voting for a guy who had Nazi tattoo until very recently.
Jews are Zionists.
I mean, probably Zionists.
Because remember, I'm a Jew and I'm not a Zionist.
Yeah.
So
So that's fair. Let's see what's going on here. Kieran says that piece of shit Fetterman was the original Lecter movie Manhunter. Let's see. Topher says, why is this? It's kind of freezing the chat. So give me a minute. Hopefully that'll go away soon. Okay, here we go. Topher says it's very minimal by my standards. I called one of his guests a failed MMA podcaster. Let's go to this video. It's an AI generated video by the Senate Republicans, but it shows a lot of the fucked up shit that Graham Plattner said at his time with this is on Reddit.
And now for a dramatic.
This is definitely it says AI generated audio visual. So, but Plattner's Reddit comments are real. Yeah, they're definitely real. So
A greeting of Graham Plattner's Reddit comments.
Holy how about people just take some responsibility for themselves and not get so up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to?
Again, that's excusing rape, which is another thing he did multiple times, in fact.
Rape is a real thing. If you're so worried about it to buy Kevlar underwear, you think you might not get blacked out up around people you aren't comfortable with. Why don't black people tip? I work as a bartender and it always amazes me how solid.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he did say that. It's like, oh, there's just some casual racism there.
The stereotype is. Living in white rural America, I'm afraid to tell you they actually are. I got older and became a communist. Still got the guns though. I don't trust the facts.
Stop right there. No, that's not the winning argument. Communist doesn't work. Oh my god.
Especially in Maine. I mean, a state like Maine, they're kind of like middle of the road. Sometimes they elect Democrats, sometimes they elect Republicans, and then he has a Reddit post. Oh, well, I'm a communist, guys. It's like, this is all Susan Collins have to do: run ads pointing out that Graham Plattner is a Nazi, and had a Nazi tattoo, and that he called himself a communist at some point in his life.
Yeah. But just what I meant was that the Republicans keep doing that communist strategy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're they freak out at the word I'm a communist. So they freak out for sure.
Just to act politely. I did used to love America, or at least the idea of it. These days, I'm pretty disgusted by it all.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Feel free to back it up with facts.
Oh, nice. A gay slur.
This was the gayest, not in a fun dick-sucking way, thing I've ever seen.
This has been a dramatic reading of Graham Plattner's Reddit comments.
Paid for by the National Republican Senate Committee, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. So, yeah, this is done by the National Republican Senate Committee. So, this is a guy that Tim Walz is flying across the country to go campaign for.
A guy who's friendly with school shooters.
That's another thing. Oh, I'm friendly with school shooters. Like, oh no. I mean, that was a terrible debate performance. I mean, let's see. Cord Lord says communism work if capitalism try to fuck it over. I mean, yeah, usually when countries attempted communism, aka Cuba, and the US had done a blockade for like 60 years. So yeah, it's not really working. Because of that, of course. And the United States has fucked over the Soviet Union and Vietnam and a lot of these communist countries around the world. Let's see. So we have Abdul Al Sayed being a tough guy here. Let me see. My post has kind of gone mini viral here. So he pretends that he bullies the bullies. At least that's what he claims. Here we go. He's running for Senate in Michigan, by the way, and he's really tied himself to the hip to Cenk Uygur's nephew. So, I mean, he over and over again he's appeared in campaign events with him. So let's.
I mean, Hassan Parker acts like a socialist or one of those. You know, I'm like you guys, but he's a wealthy guy. I mean, he bought a
millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, he bought a or didn't he buy a $3 million house or something?
I think it was $6 million, a mansion in Los Angeles.
Yeah, whatever.
That's where he lives at right now. And these same progressives may talk shit about Jimmy Dore buying a multi-million dollar home.
Yeah.
Hassan Piker, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hassan Piker, that's okay.
Has the majority report just stop talking about Jimmy Dore? I don't think they've made a video about him in a long time.
I don't really watch Sam Cedar that much.
I don't either. But I guess it stopped work. I guess it wasn't working for them anymore or something.
No, I don't. Yeah. So, anyways, this is Abdul Al Sayed acting like a tough guy, an internet tough guy here.
Look, I was the captain of my high school football, wrestling, and lacrosse teams. I'm the kind of person who, look, I bullied bullies my whole life. My name is Abdul. I started kindergarten.
That's totally made up. There's no way he bullied bullies.
In a place where there were no other Abduls. And for most of my life, I've been the only Abdul in a room. And my whole approach is this. I want us to come together to build together what we need and deserve together. But if you...
Wait, I thought you were trying to bully Republicans. That's basically what he's implying. Like
there's that word, come together, come together, come together.
So the standard Democrat, come together and just work on our issues together. Even though I try to bully Republicans. I mean, that's what he's implying, obviously, when I bully the bully.
You're going to bully other people in the room or try to bully me, I'm going to hit you right back twice as hard. Like, that's just how I work. And I think Democrats need a little bit more of that. We talk about fighting.
That's a lie. I guarantee you this guy's not bullying anybody.
As LeBron James would be like, ooh.
Yeah, I guarantee you this guy is not bullying anybody. So, let's see here. We got...
Oh, yeah, that will make people vote for him now.
But him tying himself with Cenk Uygur's nephew is like a huge mistake. I mean, it's like... And a lot of Democrats are tying himself to him. He's interviewing Cori Bush later this week. Apparently, she's running for Congress again.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, he's interviewing. And
what about Jamal Bowman? Is he running again?
I don't think so, or else I would have heard about it, obviously. But he's interviewing Cori Bush. He's interviewed this other guy. I forget his name. I saw he's running for Congress too. It's like this black progressive or alleged progressive. I should have saved it.
Oh, but they're all the last name being Lee or something.
I think so. Yeah, let me see. Hassan Piker. I call him Cenk Uygur's nephew. I have no respect for the man, but yeah, that's his.
Oh yeah, with Joy and Reed too. Now all of a sudden,
Joy and Reed podcast.
Progressives like him and Kyle Quincy and Chris Ball, they're all fine with MSNBC people. You know.
Yeah. This is the one where he claims that he is the danger.
Oh,
Joy Reid podcast, which
who are you, Heisenberg?
Yeah, I am the danger. It's like, really? I mean, he's definitely watched Breaking Bad, that's for sure.
Keep in mind that's the same guy who shocks his dog or whatever.
Yeah, he's a total scumbag to his dog. But let's see. He also went to Philadelphia to speak in front of a bunch of Democrats. And this guy,
yeah, okay.
So let's see, where's that guy? Lee. I mean, I'm trying to find the interview. I saw it, but no. Yeah, so he interviewed this politician, this progressive named Lee, allegedly. And not
like I said before, the word progressive just lost all of its meaning.
Oh no, it's meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless. So many tweets about him. I can't really find it right now. But let me see. I saw it's all over my feed. But now I can't find it. But anyways, yeah. So he's Abdul Al Sayed especially is tying himself completely to Cenk Uygur's nephew.
Oh yeah, Daily Wire's laying off its staff again.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm surprised anybody watches Ben Shapiro. Oh, so it's I've been sharing my screen this entire time.
You didn't know?
No, I
Yeah,
thought
because I saw
I
you pull up Yankee videos too. I thought you knew.
yeah, it's up there. It's in my feed, so I didn't mean to do that. So this is Graham Plattner's former campaign manager who refused to sign the $15,000 NDA. She posted this after her resignation. I'll read it because it's probably small. I ran out of self-restraint worse than the guys in the train to Boston were fanboying over Reds Eats. The DC consulting class has fucked up our U.S. Senate race again. All you need to do is stop sniping at each other. This is seriously the dumbest timeline. Graham has an anti-Semitic tattoo on his chest. He's not an idiot. He's a military history buff. Maybe he didn't know it when he got it, but he got it years ago and should have had it covered up because he damn well knows what it means. He did. His campaign released it themselves to some podcast bros along a video of him shirtless and drunk at a wedding trying to get ahead of it. The vault is open for the GOP to fucking crash any dreams we had in the general. Literally everyone know that we're fighting each other on social media. We can't be this painfully stupid. Well, Democrats are because they nominated a guy with a Nazi tattoo until 10 seconds ago. And he's drunk and he's showing off his tattoo. He knows what it is. And we have progressive commentators saying that is regrettable that he got the Nazi tattoo, which was Crystal Ball's quote on Twitter recently, a few months ago. No way she gives Republicans that benefit of the doubt. Because if, let's say Trump had a Nazi tattoo, trust me, they would not give him the benefit of the doubt. Nobody in the left would. So let me get rid of that because I'm probably going through my timeline. There's a lot of copyrighted material here from wrestling to the Yankees and stuff, so I don't want to risk it. Oh, here it is.
I should go and see if there's anything that's happened in SmackDown tonight.
It's gonna suck. I really don't watch. This is the guy I'm talking about. Chris Rabb in the Pennsylvania Third. So there he is with Cenk Uyghur's nephew. They've all they're tying himself in the chest. He did an interview with him, but I really can't find it right now. You know what? Let me search the name. Let's see. Oops. Hold on. Oh, here it is. So this is a question. If black voters are disillusioned Democratic Party because their votes were taken for granted. So here's the thing with that, though. I mean, as soon as you nominated Graham Plattner in Maine, there's a lot of black people are like, this is not the Democratic Party that I remember or I support. Mm-hmm. So Graham Plattner, the Republicans are gonna tie Graham Plattner to the entire party. They're gonna make him the leader of the Democratic Party, and they're gonna tie him to every Democrat running for Congress or the Senate. So they're going to have to all denounce Graham Plattner because if they don't, then they're going to support a guy that is had a pro-Nazi tattoo, said racist shit about black people, used gay slurs multiple times. So, and one thing about Democrats is you can't use gay slurs, you can't say racist shit against black people. And if you do that, then a lot of them will not support you anymore.
Hi, Cowboy Kitty.
Hey, Cowboys here. So let's see what the hell this guy says. I never even heard of him until Cenk Uyghur's nephew decided to endorse him.
This is the bluest district in America, or one of the bluest districts.
Number one.
Well, there's two questions that I have for you. One is about something that I was just seeing on CNN right before I got here, doing the classic, like, black people are leaving the Democratic Party alarm bell.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
Especially when you nominated Graham Plattner.
I mean, so what is really that you're like, oh, that's not true, really?
What is it? Black I've seen it all up and down my timeline. It's like, look, this is not the Democratic Party.
That's one of the reasons why Kamala lost to Trump, dumbass.
Yeah, because literally, I mean, a lot of black people voted for Trump, and Hispanics did too. Why? Because they nominated Kamala Harris, who's a cackling idiot, and didn't know what she was talking about. And all Trump had to do is run ads, her cackling like an idiot. So, and also the the prisoner ad. She wanted transgender surgery for prisoners. That's another ad that he ran, which was devastating for her.
They did this with Kamala Harris as well, if you
Yeah.
remember, where they were like,
I do.
and even Barack Obama came out and was like, "Oh, I guess if you don't want to vote for Kamala, you might be black men, you might be misogynistic." It was
Again, that's another thing Obama did, which didn't help either, which is ridiculous. It's like, oh,
And,
you don't
and
want
Cory
to.
Booker, a few days ago, he just did that, saying, "Oh, the 10% who didn't want to vote for Kamala, well, look what's happened now." You're like, they're still voter shaming people. Like, it's just...
Obama's like, oh, if you don't support Kamala, then you must be misogynist, and black men, you have to vote for her. So
ridiculous.
Yes.
Especially when you look at like major swaths of the white male population that's overwhelmingly voting for Republicans over and over again.
White males are evil. Remember that, guys. If you're a white male, you're evil. You're the most evil person in history.
This argument is so 2016.
Yeah, they're all. Cenk Uyghur's nephew was a big Bernie supporter. It's like we were, but we moved on from Bernie.
Yeah.
So it's like 10 years ago.
It's taken for granted. That's never like seen as significant, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scapegoating of black people in
Absolutely.
general. Are black people disillusioned with the Democratic Party at this
Yes, the answer is yes.
point? Because Democrats have taken their vote for granted.
Well, yeah, but we also show up.
Yeah.
You can't be a Democrat
Bullshit. 10% of black people voted for Trump, so you didn't show up enough to elect Kamala.
candidate for president or for most statewide office and win without black people. There's a rule of thumb in this state that you need at least 11% of the total voting population in Pennsylvania for a Democrat to win. And that 11% has to come from Philly because we're the largest city.
Yeah.
And this is a black city.
Why are you eating in the middle of an interview?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a...
The Kamala Harris account in the chat's pretty funny. You cucks failed me.
So there you go, Kamala Harris account in chat. Yeah.
So if black folk
That's my pet peeve. I don't eat during my shows or anything like that. It's disgusting. I drink water or whatever, that's fine, but eating during
don't show up, we all lose. But when we do show up, we're not the first at the trough. We don't get the things. So our vote is taken for granted, particularly black women. Because black women are the last true loyal bastion of the Democratic base.
Yeah.
Right, because you lost Latinos. Why? Because you're over there running your mouth about trans people and talking about trans people are equal rights or whatever. And here's the thing about Latinos: most of them are pretty conservative. A majority of them are almost against gay marriage. Forget about trans people. So that's why a lot of them voted for Trump again. So you guys need to moderate your SJW stuff because you're going to lose again.
But black men are not too far below that. So were there younger men of all ethnicities who were turned off or who felt disconnected? Yeah, but that's not based on blackness. That's based on exclusion
Across the
and
board.
erasure across the board.
And
you would see it among white, Latino, black, Asian American. You saw that. But here's the thing. They reached them where they were. And I'm going to be slammed for even talking to you.
Oh, yeah, I wonder why that is. Of course you're going to get slammed for talking to Cenk Uyghur's nephew.
How dare I be on your show? How dare I engage you? But there's a double standard because as a black progressive, I can't do this. But Pete Buttigieg, he goes on Fox News. Nobody says anything.
No.
Fox News isn't in the
Oh, what aboutism? That's nice. Pete Buttigieg goes on Fox. Who cares? But Cenk Uyghur's nephew is deeply unpopular, at least among Democrats, so establishment Democrats. So
inherently racist media outlet.
100%.
Right? And so that double standard.
Oh, Fox is racist.
Who else is unpopular is Veronica Gomez.
Oh yeah, I mean she's crazy. I mean I don't.
It is real. So people need to understand that many of us who identify as progressive, we are progressive because
what's with the close up on the food.
Yeah. When you're a
I mean,
reporter, you don't eat while you're interviewing someone.
It's gross. It's like, I agree. Like he's talking with his mouth full too. Didn't your parents teach you manners?
we are black.
Yeah.
And understanding that just inhabiting black bodies is a political act and how it connects to however you
Why are we
choose to define
discussing about
progressivism,
this?
that we can.
I don't know who this guy is. Apparently he's a left winger, but
What about policies? I don't hear any policies.
nothing. It's just him running his mouth about how progressive I am, and we're gonna do good thing. I'm for good things and against bad things.
Oh yeah, We're for good things and against bad things. Yeah.
Whatever that means, which is essentially what he's saying here. He's not saying those direct words, but that's basically what he's
Can't
saying.
be truly free and have meaningful opportunities if we do not confront these structures that are inherently racist, right? And so
What structures and what are you going to do about it?
that's why I'm a progressive. That's why I'm a democratic socialist.
Yeah.
Like, it's rooted in my blackness. You cannot talk about any of this without talking about race.
They said nothing. They said absolutely nothing.
No, literally.
This
it was
is
just,
the bluest district in America.
So they said nothing. It was just Cenk Uyghur's nephew eating for some reason, and this guy using flowery rhetoric like Obama did. So it was pretty meaningless. So that's 2 minutes of my life I can't get back. I thought he would say something meaningful, but nope. So, here is Chris Rabb again. This time introducing Cenk Uyghur's nephew to one of his rallies. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. Obviously, it's 5 minutes long, but there they are. I'm not gonna even play the sound. I'm not sure if it's music or not, but Hassan Piker, yeah.
Oh,
They're barely clapping. Yeah, it's loud, but to be fair, but there's a few people kind of like, polite clapping. Must be loud in front, where.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they put a lot of, pro Cenk Uyghur nephew supporters, and and that's why like loud, but. Still, I mean, this is a guy who calls himself a communist, and he owns a multi-million-dollar mansion and makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on.
He went to the Super Bowl in LA in 2022 without wearing a mask when he was.
It's another thing, because this was right after COVID, and these Democrats were obsessed with masks, and he didn't wear a mask either. So hypocrisy much, but now, by the way, Democrats are against masks with ICE. They don't want them wearing masks, even though just a few years ago they were pro-mask. So hypocrisy much? Democrats have exposed themselves as massive hypocrites. From the mask thing to Graham Plattner. He has a Nazi tattoo, or had one for many, many years, and he knew about it, and he kept it on his body. That tells me he's a fascist. He called himself a communist right after that, and now he's a left-wing progressive, I guess. I don't know what he is now.
Hi, Vic.
So yeah, hey, make sure you like if you hadn't. Let's see. Thank you very much for waving. Kamala Harris says we didn't have to rig it though. Libtards voted on COVID. So the Democratic Socialists of America endorsed Chris Rabb. Blah blah blah. Wow, he's still. The hell is this?
I'm surprised that the TSA is still around. Like, how are they not bankrupt? Or
I never forget that
force of vote
convention. Yeah, that too. But the convention they had where a guy was speaking, is like, we gotta keep it down because people have sensory overload.
Yes.
Like, come on, dude. I'm done after that because that's total bullshit. That's totally ridiculous. So this is Cenk Uyghur nephew talking to Rabb some more. He claims that he's unbought and unbossed, whatever that means. So
With the rotating villain structure, and do you have an opinion on how to address the rotating villain system when you are in Congress?
That looks staged.
Well, I'm unbought and.
Let me reload that. I can't pause it. But
that looks staged.
Yeah, it does. It's like. It does, the police lights are behind. I don't know whether Hassan Piker or Cenk Uyghur's nephew has a police escort or something. Because this is weird.
With the rotating villain structure, and do you have an opinion on how to address the rotating villain system when you are in Congress?
Well, I'm unbought and unbossed. And that's a...
Yeah, I'm sure you are, buddy. I'm sure you're unbought. Yeah, I'm sure,
very dangerous position for someone.
That's a lie. He's not dangerous.
Someone like me, because there are not many of us who get elected and stay elected against a very powerful democratic machine where incumbency is the ideology. The ideology of any machine, whether it's Democratic or Republican, is incumbency, is concentration of power. So if you have folks who have independent thought, who are not compromised by moneyed interests and insiders, they can't know if they're in.
Yeah.
You still have the comment still on the side. So
Oh, that's because it kind of like crashed or something, so I left it on. Get rid of it.
there we go.
Vic also says the Spiker has on Preacher's collar on. It looks like he does.
I thought he was referring to the dog collar incident. I thought that's
no. It's like this. He looks like that Preacher's collar.
Influence is going to work when they want it to work the most, and that's very scary to them because they're used to controlling people, and that's why I don't have any support from the political class.
Yeah,
that's why it's not.
So he says nothing again. It's just I thought it was interesting that he said he's unbought and unbossed. I mean, all these progressives acting like tough guys. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass, and and you're not gonna bully me, or you're not going to do anything.
That reminds me of when the Palestine News Network, when they confronted Michael Rappaport, and he was, they were calling him out and all that stuff. He's like, I'm going to beat you up or something. And then they were like, come on. And then he just walked back into
didn't do anything. Yeah. Internet tough guys are not going to do anything. If they threaten you, and if they cut, like, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to beat you up, like, not going to do anything. Because they're internet tough guys. As soon as you see them in person, they run away because like, oh yeah, I want to kick my ass. Well, I'm right here. Like,
where's the apartheid? Where's the apartheid? As you would say.
So this is the May Day protest for today, where you got a bunch of shit libs, protesting Trump, and
oh wow,
not doing anything really. Ungovernable. I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't know. I literally can't even decipher that. Let's see. We got some Palestinian flags. Ice fuera, or ice get out, basically in English. Ice out fuera. No. So that says it there. Okay. Stop the war on Iran. I agree, but this protest ain't going to do anything for that. Ice out. We got somebody screaming into a megaphone. He's yelling hysterically about something. That's ridiculous. New York,
exactly. I'm speaking.
New York Ice Watch. So we got a bunch of meaningless signs here. Apparently supposed to intimidate Trump in the White House somehow. I don't know, but this is all pointless. We got.
If you're going to intimidate Trump, do it like near his White House.
Yeah, they're doing it around the country, but they're doing it in Washington, but it's nowhere near the White House. This guy claims I gave my workers a day off and went hiking in Glacier Park. I sell tortillas for a living, and today's one of the busiest days of the year for me with Cinco de Mayo coming up. Then why the fuck did you close your store?
Yeah,
I mean, you just lost a shit ton of money. Moron.
Exactly. That's
like your virtue signaling. It's like, I closed my store to give my employees a day off so they can go to this protest. I guarantee you they all went home. They all went home and slept all day. They didn't go to this fucking protest. It's like, oh, thank you for the day off. I'm going home. I'm not going to that fucking protest. Let's see. Get rid of that. Abolish ICE. That's not going to happen either. So we got Rahm Emanuel defending Graham Plattner's Nazi tattoo on CNN.
Boy. If you got Democrats defending you, then you should. People shouldn't vote for you.
So this is from the Stop Anti-Semitism account, which I guarantee you is pro-Zionist, but I just make Graham Plattner's Nazi tattoo isn't generic. It's a token conf tied with Nazi camp guards who brutalized Jews. For anyone, especially Jewish men like Rahm Emanuel and Chuck Schumer, to put politics over basic decency is indefensible. So,
are you going to endorse Graham Plattner?
I mean, if he's Democratic nominee,
so that's not a ringing endorsement.
I'm going to help him if he wants my help. Absolutely. Obviously, we'll have a discussion. When Mandani won, he was when he was a candidate. I told him when I first met, I said, I don't know who's going to hate this meeting more, my rabbi or AOC. But we had an honest meeting as two former mayors, had an honest discussion about what to face as.
By the way,
And
Rahm
it was
Emanuel,
great. It was great when we talked. Great, we agreed.
Rahm Emanuel was a terrible mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
So ask Kid about that.
Mayor? Yeah. I support the party and I support winning because I think you have to.
I support the party, and they nominated him, so I'm going to support him. By the way, he's not said the words "I endorse Graham Plattner," so that's the word that she was looking for.
Put an end to Donald Trump and a rubber stamp Republican Congress and get focused again. And
I don't know. They're Trump. That's all they want to say.
And not only in 2026, making sure that the American people know what are the choices ahead, because 2028 is going to be the first election about the future that we haven't had in 20 years.
What? I thought you guys were all talking about that before. It's the most important lecture of our lifetime, the future. You weren't saying that before? What?
No, apparently not. He was... this is 2028 is the end of the Trump era. So that's why they're all excited about 28, but yeah, he did not say the words, I endorse Graham Plattner. Instead, he's a nominee and I'm going to support the nominee. That's not a ringing endorsement of the man.
It's like when Jimmy Dore was talking about AOC when he's like, I support the Democrat nominee in November. I support
It's like, let's see. We got a school in Philadelphia giving not the day off, but the teachers union wanted the day off so they can go and join this meaningless protest. Instead, the school superintendent was like, "No, you can't have a day off."
That's stupid. You can't cancel school for that day just because of a protest.
Yeah. So basically, the compromise was, we'll give you school buses so you and the students can go out, but you have to go. You have to stay and work today. Like, the union, like, really, you're demanding a day off so you can protest? Fuck, no, you're not going to do that. Oh, Ilhan Omar went to Cenk Uyghur's nephew's house, and did a stream with him. Nice. But let's see. So we have Abdul Al Fayed being a tough guy again on his Twitter account.
Oh no.
He loves being a tough guy. Hey, Lady Alex, thank you for joining us. So I don't need you to like me. I need you to like you. You deserve guaranteed health care in the richest, most powerful country on earth. So I was in Michigan and a gentleman comes up to me and says, I don't like you, but I'm going to vote for you because you really want me to have health care. He's tricking people, just like,
yeah, exactly.
I feel bad for this guy. I know what a doctor can make, so either you're stupid, which doesn't seem to be the case, or you really want me to have health care. And I'm going to get everybody I know to vote for you because you really want us to have health care. So
can you show the proof? I mean, those are just quotes. Where's the proof that people said
it's the classic politician thing where they make up an anecdote in order to, like, you see this random guy who I don't have his name or have any videos, said he hated me or didn't like me. He's still going to vote for me anyways. Mm-hmm. That's why you have to vote for me, which I guarantee didn't happen because these are these anecdotes that politicians make up all the time. So he claims to be a public servant running for the U.S. Senate. I don't know what he's done. We had never heard of him until a few weeks ago. Until he started going on Cenk Uyghur's nephew podcast.
Didn't he run the Justice Democrats? Didn't he do that?
Might have been part of it. I don't think he actually ran it. I mean, if he did run it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe not run it, but was part of it. Yeah, or
I
like
think he was
had some ownership in it.
Yeah, he might have been a part of the organization. So let's see here. So we got more May Day protests. So let's kind of make fun of them a little bit. Massive crowd of protesters marched through the streets of Washington, D.C., rallying against the Trump regime. So where is this in Washington? Looks like it's in front of the British consulate. I see the UK flag there. But living wage for all, workers' rights, no ICE, free DC. There's some French signs for some reason. Unions and immigrants make America great. Okay. So, yeah, this is replays. National TPS Alliance. I don't know what that is. No ICE. Stop the deportations. Stop the deportations. Keep families together. Where were these people when Obama was deporting a shit ton of people and Biden? They didn't exist because they were Democrats. So they went back to drinking their lattes and going to Starbucks and paying $10 for coffee. So that's what they were doing.
They were having brunch.
Brunch. That's the famous one. You know, I had a Twitter. Somebody claimed to me if Trump wasn't elected, he'd be having brunch. Like literally the meme. He did the meme. This guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, you just did the meme. You know, we all make fun of these establishing like normie Democrat voters. Like,
why can't you do brunch with him as president? Why he's not stopping you from doing it?
so this virtue signaling protest is not going to do anything. What do you think the White House is going to like? Oh yeah, you know, they're doing May Day protest, so now we stop all our horrible policies and do what the liberals want. I don't care about Laura Loomer. Here we go. Let's talk about our favorite left-wing Christian, James Tallarico. And my computer crashed.
James Tallarico. Who is he? Oh, he was the one.
Go ahead.
He was the one. He was running against who was the woman from Texas? I forgot her name. Was he the one?
Yeah, he won. He's not. He hasn't won. I think is he win the primary or he's about to win the primary? I don't know.
But he was the guy that was he was just facing against who's that woman who was in the Senate for Congress for Texas that just lost?
Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, he was running against her, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
She dropped out, I think, or lost. I don't remember which one it is, but so So
I think she lost. Yeah.
Yeah. My screen just crashed here, so I'm gonna reload in. I'll be back. Why is this not loading? My restream just straight up crashed. Oh, here we go.
So Will Warren continues to pitch really well for the Yankees lately. Oh, okay.
Right, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
I was saying that Will Warren continues to pitch very well for the Yankees lately.
Yeah. Let me start closing out some of these tabs because. All right, here we go. Let me just show this. Shock poll. Democrats lead by 5 points in the Texas Senate election. This is the second poll in a row which Tallarico has led against Paxton. So, by the way, Democrats are not winning in Texas because Tallarico's up by 5 points, but what's the margin of an error in this poll? It doesn't show it. Instead, it just shows 1,018 respondents from April 17th to the 20th. So that tells me so what's the percentage of Democrats? What's the percentage of Republicans? What's the margin of error? Because there was 1,018 people polled, that margin of error has to be pretty high. It has to be around 4 to 5%. So if it is 4 to 5%, it's a statistical tie, basically. And Democrats love pointing to these polls, which has a high margin of error, like, hey, we're winning by 5 points. Yay, we're going to win. Oh, we lost again in Texas? That's weird. Like, why did we keep losing in Texas? Because Democrats have wanted to turn Texas blue for like 30 years. That's been their dream for decades, to turn Texas blue. Meanwhile, it hasn't happened yet, and it probably won't happen because, here we go. The poll conducted by Texas Public Opinion Research from April 17th to the 20th found Tallarico leading Senator John Cornyn by 3 percentage points. So, there hasn't been basically Ken Paxton has not won the primary over John Cornyn. John Cornyn is still this race is not over, I don't think. So they're preparing themselves to Ken Paxton, but he hasn't won the primary yet over John Cornyn. So I don't this is like deception too, because they're acting like Ken Paxton won the nomination. The Austin Democrat leads Attorney General Ken Paxton by a margin of 5 points, 46 to 41. The survey includes 1,018 likely general election voter with a margin of error of 3.3%. This is the funny part, though. TPOR is a nonpartisan public opinion research group directed by Democratic strategist Luke Warford. It's a Democratic organization. Polling, of course it is. Like, it's Texas.
And
There's no way Tallarico's up
no
by
Democrat
5 points.
has won a statewide race in Texas since '94.
Yeah, it's like 30 years ago. So no Texas have won a statewide race in Texas since 1994. In recent cycles, polls has routinely offered rosy projections for the minority party that are not borne out in November. So no, I think what was his face? Beto O'Rourke led Ted Cruz for multiple polls. Like, oh my God, we're gonna get a Democratic senator. He lost by almost 10 points to Ted Cruz. Like, that's weird. Like, they put out these polls that are dominated by Democrats or started by Democratic organizations in Texas, and then they're shocked that they lose. Like, dude, I mean, those are obviously skewed polls. So they're skewed towards Democrats. So that's why they're getting their hopes up. Like, oh my God, Beto O'Rourke is winning. Oh my God, James Tallarico, our favorite left-wing Christian, is winning. So, yeah. So obviously Tallarico here is pretending to be religious because Texas is a very religious state. So this guy is not religious at all, I don't think. So my brothers and sisters in Christ should not vote for Tallarico as a wolves in sheep clothing. Calling God non-binary. On top of that, he says that there are 6 genders, which there is not. He also says trans women should have abortions even though they can't get pregnant. He did say all that, by the way. And especially that God is non-binary. That's going to offend Christians like crazy. Like, that's a terrible thing to say. Not because it's not because of me. It's because of Christians in general, especially in Texas. Like, that's all John Cornyn have to do is run ads with Tallarico saying that, and he's done. Just like this guy, Graham Plattner. You know, all you got to do is run the ads where he's not naked, but with the shirt off, with the Nazi tattoo, and drunk. That's all they got to do. And especially in Maine, he's gonna lose by. And Susan Collins is not that popular in Maine, but she keeps getting reelected. Why? Because Democrats run terrible candidates, against her. So it's like, it's like either vote for the shitty Democrat or vote for Susan Collins. It's like,
well, remember, as Jimmy Dore has said, they rather lose to a progressive. They rather lose to a. They'd rather lose to a Republican than win with a progressive.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
That's what Jimmy Dore says. Let's see. Virtue signaling conservative. You get it. Justice is coming, so you're not getting this one, RFK. I got jank on Dick Watch. Lady Alex says focusing on impeachment is futile. Yeah, 100%. And Hakeem Jeffries know that, but his caucus, his parties they're desperate for the impeachment hearing. So he's going to have to give him to him if he wants to be speaker. Because if he doesn't give him to him, then he probably won't be speaker. And he wants to be speaker. Trust me. He's not like he doesn't want to be speaker. Let's see. That's the guy who... here we go. This is our favorite Nazi, Graham Plattner, on MSNBC or MS Now, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
He's going to talk about how he wants the Trump administration to not function because everyone in the White House is being hauled under subpoena in front of a Senate committee.
They're not running against Trump, though.
He's running against Susan Collins, but he's all he wants to talk about is Trump because he doesn't want to talk about Susan Collins for some reason.
As Kit would say, boogie, boogie, boogie.
Yeah, this is all gimmick, by the way. The beard, the T-shirt. Yeah. His parents are very wealthy. His dad was a famous architect, in fact. So,
and look who he's talking to, Jen Psaki, who worked with
the former Biden administration press secretary, and she he's doing the same job on MS Now, whatever it's called, but she's making a lot more money doing it. So she's basically still the press secretary for the Democratic Party, but doing this show now. Let's see.
Well, first and foremost, I think we need to understand that the Democratic Party needs to form a theory of power. I don't think it's had one for a long time. It's had a theory of management. The Republican Party has, which is one of the reasons why we find ourselves in these straits. With a theory of power,
But
you
look at
have
this.
to.
Her show is called The Briefing with Jen Psaki. So she's still like this is my briefing for the Democrats. You know, that's what she definitely does.
Define the end state. What is the goal? What do you want to use your power in the service of? And then, how are you going to craft the policies to get there? And more importantly, build the political will and the political power to make those policies a reality. Something we're going to have to do if we're the majority. We need to use the power we get to shut this White House down. We do that, I think, one of the best.
You're not shutting.
You're
down
not
the White
doing that though.
Yeah. You're good. If you win somehow, you're going to be a rookie senator that no one takes seriously. So how are you going to subpoena the Trump administration to death? It's not going to happen because he's a rookie senator. No one's going to give him that power early on.
Ways is through committee hearings and investigations. I want the Trump administration not to function because everyone in the White House is being hauled under subpoena in front of a Senate committee day after day after day. Not just because, one, we have so many crimes to investigate. At this point, we can probably be doing this for the next 30 years. But two, because it's a lever of...
Yeah, all these crimes. What about the crimes under a Democratic administration? You're not going to talk about that, right? You don't want to investigate those crimes.
Power.
No.
Using subpoena power, bringing people in for investigations, that keeps them busy. And that doesn't allow them to go start another stupid war. That doesn't allow them to continue to give...
Well, it's a lie because they could start whatever war they want. Trump doesn't need congressional authority. He can do it himself. Like, fuck it. Today, I'm going to bomb, name a country. I don't know. I'm going to bomb...
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Oh, Cuba. That's the one he wants to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to bomb Cuba. I'm going to get rid of the communist dictator in Cuba. We're gonna bring Cuba back to capitalism, and we're all
gonna
gonna
make
have
Cuba
our new,
great again.
yeah, we're all gonna have our new island where we can rape children, and it's gonna be great. So that's what he's.
Oh, and
he
also
doesn't
from Iran, we want to install the big nose guy, whatever his name is.
yeah, the Shah's son. So it's like
billionaires more and more and more of our economy. And so continue to give billionaires more and more and more of our economy. And so,
well, it's going to happen one way or another.
So I think it's very important that if we're in the majority, we're going to wield the power that we have to rein this thing in. I also think, and I'll just be upfront.
Look, you're not the arbiter. You're not the arbiter of anything. Chuck Schumer is. And trust me, you're not going to do anything that you want.
I don't believe a single U.S. Democratic senator should vote for a nominee out of the Trump administration moving forward.
Well, they're going to. You're not the arbiter of that either. It's like, I don't think the Democrats should vote for any Trump nominee. You know, all they got, if there's somehow that happens.
Don't forget when Bernie voted for Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Bernie voted for Marco Rubio. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're not the arbiter of anything. Chuck Schumer is. If Chuck Schumer tells you to vote for X Trump appointee, you're going to do it, or else they're going to find a way to get you out of office.
I think we need to use all of the power we have around funding and the power of the purse to stop paying for these kinds of stupid wars, stop paying for agencies like ICE. Again,
you're not the arbiter of that. They're going to continue funding ICE, and theyll fund the military because
wasn't the arbiter a Halo character?
I think so. I mean, I just keep saying because he thinks he's the arbiter. It's like, oh yeah, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, we're not going to fund anything, we're going to shut down the administration. Not the arbiter, they're not going to do anything.
Paying for the things that the Trump administration is doing that are materially hurting our democracy and hurting working people.
Oh, there we go.
We need to get people
democracy. You know that we lost our democracy.
I thought it was destroyed after Trump won, and people are still discussing it. It's like
it's like. We lost our democracy decades ago, long before Trump. So, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, we got to protect our democracy. It's like, we got to protect our... I can't do his voice, but yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Office who have a theory of power and who understand that the purpose of power...
What does that mean, theory of power? You've been reading Machiavelli or something? Like, a theory of power. It's like, you're not going to do anything.
It isn't just to have it. It's to use it. It's to wield it. And in the service of a long-term goal. And I mean,
what's your long-term goal? Again, this is rhetoric. He's like,
the long-term goal is to support Democrats.
Yeah, that's because he's not going to get Medicare for all. He's not going to get whatever his policies. I don't know what his policies is. He hasn't really said anything. You know?
Honestly, that's not what we've been seeing for quite some time.
But also, what are you going to do for Maine? What are you going to do for Maine?
They're not going to do anything. As soon as he elected, he's gonna go. Well, let's see. We already watched that. Oh, this is. I want to read this. This is interesting. It's about Plattner again. Let's see. Ready for revolution? The clucking cuck wasn't. I love. Bernie is like.
Yeah.
So this is some random account here. I don't know who it is, but I thought she made some good points here. A fucking Nazi, Graham Plattner, the progressive Marine vet, oyster farmer, and self-anointed friend of the working Mainer, now front-running Democratic Senate primary in Maine to primary Susan Collins. He's the guy on the left is hailing as their populist savior, endorsed by the usual suspect, raking millions of dollars from small dollar donors who think they're sticking it to the man. But peel back the populist cosplay, and what do you find? A walking tattooed monument to the very evil they screech about 24/7. 100% correct. I mean, trust me, if he was a Republican, there's no way they're giving him this benefit of the doubt. Zero. They call him a Nazi. They would call him a fascist. They would call him, he's the most dangerous candidate in history. We can't vote for him. But he's a Democrat. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
He's a progressive. So by definition, he's good. This isn't some vague, edgy ink from his wild youth. In 2007, while a young Marine on leave in Croatia, Plattner got hammered and shows a skull and crossbone design straight off the Pollard wall. So yeah, he went to a guy who did Nazi tattoos, and he liked the skull and bones, the SS tattoo. So that's what he got, and he knew what it was. He had to. Let's say if he didn't, he woke up the next day, he's had a hangover. He looks down. Ah, shit! What is this tattoo? It's a Nazi tattoo. He would have gotten covered up at that point, but he didn't. He spent nearly 20 years with that tattoo until it's politically inconvenient, so then he got covered up. Sound innocuous bullshit. It was the Totenkopf, the literal's death head. The exact insignia of Heinrich Himmler's SS Token Botverband, German word there. The paramilitary death squads that run the Nazi concentration camps, Auschwitz, Dachau, and Treblinka. Those grinning skulls weren't cool pirate vibes. They were the official emblem stitched into the collars of the men who industrialized genocide. The guards who herded 6 million Jews and millions more undesirables, quote unquote, into gas chambers, ovens, and mass graves, while the 3rd SS Panzer Division, Totenkopf, carved a trail of war crimes across Europe. This wasn't some fringe symbol. It was the bureaucratic face of a final solution, chosen for a psychological terror. A grinning memento mori for the machinery of extermination. Plattner claims ignorance. Quote, I didn't know, quote, useful mistakes that I cover up now. The reporters asked. He had to have known.
It's like, what?
Yeah,
What? Tattoo? What? Oh my God, I didn't know. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's 20 years ago. He had to have known. Even if he didn't, let's say, somebody had to tell him, look, dude, that's a Nazi tattoo. That's an SS tattoo. You better get that covered up. So, and he didn't. Let's say that's the case. That's a best case scenario. But he didn't get it covered up, even though he had to have known at some point. Except witnesses from a decade ago in 2012 in a DC bar recall him stripping off his shirt, pointing at the ink, and calling it my Totenkopf with a cutesy little smirk. So allegedly there's witnesses saying that he knew what it was, and he called it my Totenkopf, so he was proud of it. His own former political director flat out said the man damn well knows what it means. Yeah, we just read that already from his former campaign manager. Deleted social posts and opposition research confirm he wasn't some naive jarhead. He kept that SS tattoo calling card on his chest for 18 years, dancing shirtless in family videos, parading it like a badge of dark honor. This wasn't the pathology of a dumb kid. It's a psychology of projection and denial wrapped into leftist armor. Carl Jung would have called it a shadow archetype devouring the ego. The unconscious attraction to forbidden power symbols rationalized the way into the spotlight hits. Ardnot warned of the banality of evil, and here it is, the banality of the modern left's evil. They just don't tolerate it, they elevate it, because the tattoo fits their own totalitarian ID while they gaslight the rest of us. These are the same people who branded you a Nazi for wanting secure border, school choice, and questioning endless wars. Trump, Nazi, MAGA hats, swastikas, January 6 tourist brown shirts. Half the country gets doxxed, deplatformed, and destroyed for the sin of wrongthink. Yet when one of their own wears the actual insignia of the SS death machine, the one that orchestrated the Holocaust, they shrug, cover it with some Celtic knot doll bullshit, and keep the campaign checks flowing. Or they do the whole "it was a regrettable choice," or they, just straight up defend him. So he didn't know, he was young, he was stupid. He's not a secret Nazi. Plattner whines on podcast. No shit, Sherlock. He's an open one that just got caught. Yeah, open Nazi, my dude. I mean, he has a Nazi tattoo. So he's not, he's a fascist. He was at some point in his life. The left doesn't call out real evil. It recruits it when it wears the right team jersey. Again, that's 100% true. I said it before. If the Democrats nominated Hitler, they would support him because he's better by definition than the Republicans. So this is what happens when ideology eats history, psychology, and basic human decency alive. The same crowd that lectures us on punching Nazis is running one for the U.S. Senate. Ferocity demands we name it. Plattner isn't a flawed progressive. He's a symptom of a movement so pathologically deranged by power that it would platform the talking cough itself if the polls were against Republicans. The left doesn't fight Nazis. It becomes then rebranded, tattooed, and smiling for the cameras. So this part here, I do agree that the left wing is pathologically deranged, but not by power, by Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah,
they're so pathologically deranged and so bitter and angry that Trump won that they're willing to support guys like Graham.
Just like Kyle Kowinski.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of in particular. He is absolutely deranged.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, he's like doing this in his videos while he's talking. Like he's on drugs. Either he's on cocaine or Adderall or both. Because I know I take Adderall every once in a while, and I'm like fucking, I can't sit still in my seat, and I'm desperate to start running around. So I know, excuse me, I know what doing. Sorry, I know what that feeling looks like. So he's deranged. He's fucking insane, just like the rest of the Democratic Party and progressives in particular. Because when I was on the left, like 10 years ago, when we were supporting Bernie, there's no way the left would have supported a guy like Graham Plattner. Now they've all lost their minds, and now all of a sudden, a guy with a Nazi tattoo is regrettable, and we have to support him because he's going to be better than Susan Collins. Susan Collins is one of the most inoffensive politicians I've ever seen. Like at times she supports Trump, and other times she goes with Democrats. Like she's one of those inoffensive like politicians.
She's like Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like Dianne Feinstein or Janet Mikowski from Alaska. One of those inoffensive type of politicians that nobody knows their name basically. But I know her name because she's been in the Senate for like 30 years. So, oh wow, just came across this on my timeline. I was gonna wrap up, but I'll wrap up after this. This is the one interview I was talking about with Cenk Uygur's nephew with Cori Bush here.
Oh, is that who you were thinking of, Cori Bush?
Yeah, it said that he interviewed Cori Bush.
Oh,
well.
yeah,
He's
but when you were trying to,
okay,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So this is when asked Cori Bush if it feels like the Democratic Party is taking the black vote for granted. She said, "Absolutely, blah blah." So, by the way, Cori Bush lost her re-election bid in the last election, and she's running again. So,
Feel like the Democratic Party is taking the black vote for granted?
Yes, absolutely, and has for a long time. Growing up for me, I was a Democrat. I was a Democrat before I knew what a Democrat was.
Oh, yeah. So you're admitting that you're not some outsider. I've been a Democrat since before I knew what a Democrat was. Jesus. So,
well, did she vote for Kamala?
I'm sure she did.
And that's the expectation. I don't have, there can't be loyalty to someone or some group that is not being loyal to you. So we have to pay attention to why are we supposed to be Democrats? But you did it for Kamala. We believe in civil rights. We believe in human.
No, I guarantee you she supported Kamala. There's no way that she would have sat home because that would have helped elect Trump.
Human rights, and Democrats say that's who we are. Yeah. Those guys aren't. But if we're not the true opposition, then you need to work to be the opposition. Show us your human rights. Show us your humanity. Show us. And we're not.
But this time we'll fix the Democrats. This time it'll happen.
They're all tying themselves to Cenk Uygur's nephew. I mean, they're all they because the Republicans are basically connecting them to Cenk Uygur's nephew and talking about, like, again, he famously said that America deserved 9/11.
Yeah,
I get the overall point, but politically, that's a terrible thing to say. Now he's connecting himself to Democrats and Republicans, just running ads talking about all the things he said on his stream over the last 10 years and something. And he said a lot of fucked up shit. So that's why it's like, but they're all just doubling down. It's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to connect myself more to him. Oh, we lost the primary. We lost the House. That's weird. We're supposed to win the House. All right. So those are my thoughts. I guess I'm gonna start wrapping up soon because it is 9:00. Let's see. So let me read some chats real quick. Nice. My favorite part is coming up with ideas all to use with. That's nice. Let's see. So whoops. Oh, come on. My restream is crashing again. Oh wow. President Trump has announced that the United States will be taking over Cuba almost immediately. So we talked about Cuba a little bit earlier. So we're gonna bomb Cuba. We're gonna take it over, and we're gonna bring back we're gonna bring back the regime, that allowed us to use Cuba as a playground for our casinos and stuff like that. And we're all gonna make a lot of money. So Jesus. I'm gonna have to reload in because my restream completely crashed. Hold on.
Well, we can probably come back next week.
Oh no, I'm gonna wrap up. It's just that this is not letting me do it because it's completely crashed. So hold on, let me. Oh, here we go. All right, so let me get rid of this. All right, so I want to thank you guys for watching. My restream keeps crashing. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tomorrow should be Pro Wrestling Talk with Witchy. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it, even though I haven't confirmed with her yet. 7:00 or 8:00 Eastern, rather. Excuse me.
And I'll be on at 9.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we're doing clips because we didn't do it last week because we had a huge WrestleMania review and really no time. But yeah, we're check us out tomorrow 8:00 for Wrestling Talk. So yeah, make sure you keep liking INN content, sharing, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow for Wrestling Talk, and we're gonna see you next Friday for Indie on the afternoon. Hopefully, Witchy can make it. She's been busy the last couple of weeks. So until next time, be well, be beautiful, agitate, educate, and resonate, as Kieran just said. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Peace out.